Since I'm the fusion of Vegeta and Kakarot, I guess that makes me Vegeta. And this is Super Vegito!
What's going on, guys? Vegito here, and this is a brand new What If! And a first for the channel being a Pokemon What If. As this idea came from Enter the Unknown. But so quick shout out to him for it. But I want to take my own spin on it. As normally, Ash would smash his alarm clock and sleep in, getting like on my Pikachu. But Ash will be waking up bright and early. And he has him a good breakfast. Made some bacon, some eggs, made some hash browns, sausage. Dang, now I'm hungry. Then he makes way to Professor Oak's lab, arriving second after Gary. As Gary would get his first choice of Squirtle. Meaning Ash, his first choice in the canon was Squirtle, but he's gonna get his second choice of Bulbasaur. Mainly had a tight advantage over Gary. Meaning two random trainers hit Charmander and Pikachu, but we only see Ash and Gary in the Indigo League, so we won't discuss those. As Ash gets his Pokédex and Pokeballs from Professor Oak. One sec. Never mind. Oh, Professor Oak, and his journey begins as he goes to Route 1 as he finds a Pidgey. And he sends a Bulbasaur. And since Bulbasaur obeys him right from the start, unlike Pikachu, he can actually battle the Pidgey. But he still failed to catch Pidgey. But he does manage to catch a Rattata and the Spearow he threw a rock at in canon, bringing his team to 3. Bulbasaur, Rattata, and Spearow. He makes it to Viridian City. And since the whole Spearow incident didn't happen, Misty's bike wouldn't get barbecued. So no early traveling coming for Ash. But don't worry. I won't be writing Misty completely out of the story yet. Might already take the gym challenge. As Ashton arrives, he stops Pokemon Center, but it stops much less time. As he makes his way to Viridian Forest. But with no Misty, Ash wouldn't catch Caterpie. But since he didn't catch Caterpie or Pidgeotto, he's going to catch the Weedle, which would evolve into Kakuna after battling his random trainer. As then, Samurai appears, challenging Ash to a battle. And the Samurai is Pinsir! And that's known as Bulbasaur. But Bulbasaur gets folded. But he does good damage. As he didn't send out Spearow, which will lead to a double knockout. Meaning, we get the most epic battle in the series. Kakuna versus Metapod. Which Kakuna wanted to win, evolves into Beedrill, taking out Metapod with a Fury attack for the win. But after this, Beedrill would stop listening to Ash, as it goes through a similar character arc to Ash's Charizard. As he then makes his way to Pure City, finding out about League and taking on Brock. Which Brock's on Onyx as Ash sends out Beedrill. As Ash will know his type matchups here. There's a Kanto. He's dumb as bricks. And come on, I had to make Ash look stupid at least once. And let's just say, Beedrill gets creamed. As Brock calls off the match, as then Beedrill is put in the hospital. Basically getting a serious reality check back in the process. As then, Flint, aka Brock's deadbeat dad, decides to help Ash and Bulbasaur. So that learns Razor Leaf. As Ash challenges Brock to a rematch. As then, he decides to be smart and sends out Bulbasaur. But he doesn't by mistake out Geodude, and he's ready to take down Onyx. Getting Ash the Boulder Badge and earning Ash a new traveling companion. So meaning Ash has not only someone to train with, but also someone to cook all his meals. As head of Mount Moon, and Brock catches a Zubat like in canon. And they do meet Team Rocket, but since they don't think of anything different about Ash and his Pokemon, so they don't follow him. And then they make their way to Cerulean City, as then Ash and Brock arrive at Cerulean City. Cerulean Gym. Man, can I talk today. And since Misty isn't here, Ash wins with Bulbasaur getting Cascade Badge. And since Bulbasaur basically soloed 2 gyms, that would basically give him an XP to evolve into Ivysaur. As then, Ash and Brock made their way to Hidden Village, where Ash and Cannon caught his Bulbasaur. But I'm gonna have Brock catch it instead. Because honestly, having Ash have two Bulbasaur, well, Ivysaur and Bulbasaur, that wouldn't make any sense. And then they made Charmander, as then Beedrill will try to convince Charmander to leave, as then Beedrill will have a bit of a rivalry. As then they save Charmander's life, right from the rain. As Damien, Charmander's old trainer, tries to get Charmander, but Charmander uses flamethrower and sets him on fire, rather than cannon. As then, Ash offers Charmander to come with him, and Ash catches it, bringing his team to 5. As then, Tad evolves into Raticate, ranks the Random Trainer of the Week, as to make the Vermilion City, with Ash still catching Krabby like a cannon, by bringing his team to 6. He wouldn't catch Squirtle because no Team Rocket. And Ash turns Lieutenant Surge to a battle, as Ash, being smart for once, would use Ivysaur against Raichu. And it's a hard fought battle, but Ivysaur would slightly come out on top, winning Ash the Thunder Badge. As then we get to the episode where we find a giant Tentacruel, allowing Ash to catch a Horsey, and him finding out he can store when he's using an Oak's lab. So he sends Krabby. And after that, Ash and Brock make their way to Saffron City, with both battles with Sabrina basically going the same, meaning he gets the Mars Badge. As in Ash has some of Brock's jelly-filled donuts.
These donuts are great! Jelly-filled are my favorite! Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut!
As a Mankey comes to take Ash's hat. As no Team Rocket, Mankey won't evolve yet. As Ash takes the hat back and catches Mankey. He decides to send Raticate back to Oak's lab. As then, Ash and Brock arrive at Celadon City, where without Misty, Ash would make my perfume, basically finding the whole perfume community, meaning he can challenge them with no difficulty, making it a 3v3 battle. As Ash tries to use Beedrill, Spearow, and Charmander. And he turns Charmander first, and Erica's Tangela. It turns out to say damage with Tangela with a powerful flamethrower, but Tangela uses Stun Spore to take out Charmander. As then Beedrill comes out of Pokeball and says to Charmander in Pokemon language, "Guess you couldn't take the heat, eh, Charmander?" As then Beedrill takes on Tangle with a Pin Missile and Twin Needle combo. As then Eric has a Weeping Bell, and Beedrill then uses Double Edge to deal some good damage. They're running Double Edge? Yeah, Beedrill can learn in Gen 1. Apparently. Believe me, I was as weirded out as you were. But it also ends in a double knockout. As Ash and Erica both send their last Pokemon, being Spearow for Ash and Gloom for Erica. As then Gloom was basically dominating this battle, but Spearow won't lose. And then it starts to glow as it evolves into Fearow. As with its new power, Fearow gets Ash to win, bringing his badge count to 5. As Ash and Brock arrive at the fighting tournament. In the first round, makes that we get to Machamp. As out of sheer rage, it evolves into Primeape, and then wins the whole tournament. But Primeape's had to stay with Ash this time. Seriously, I just think he's just got scammed out as Primeape. I mean, seriously, he never went back for it. Like, come on, Ash. And it's making it to the Safari Zone, and with Team Rocket, Ash would catch Tauros, as well as a Rhyhorn and surprisingly a Scyther, which will have a rivalry with Beedrill. I decided to take on future Gym using Charmander and his new Rhyhorn. As he could battle Venomoth, off of Charmander using a flamethrower to win the battle. As Koga sends out Golbat, he decides to give Charmander a break and sends out Rhyhorn using Rock Slide on Golbat. But it's not enough as Golbat takes out Rhyhorn. And then Charmander comes out. And then takes out Golbat, evolving to Charmeleon afterward. Which means Charmeleon basically stops obeying Ash. As he gets the Soul Badge. As then, we go to type Prehistoric Pokemon. And without Team Rocket, they don't find out about the fossils, and Charmeleon won't evolve into Charizard yet. But Ivysaur would evolve into Venusaur while battling Serena Trainer. As then, Ash goes to Cinnabar Island as Ash picks Rhyhorn, Charmeleon, and Raticate. And for the gym battle against Blaine. As then, during the battle, Charmeleon finally evolves into Charizard, actually winning Ash the Volcano Badge. As then, Ash and Brock go to Viridian City and challenge the final gym. But luckily for Ash, Giovanni's out of town on important business. So Butch and Cassidy take over the gym. As Ash tries to use Venusaur, Rhyhorn, Beedrill, and Fearow. And basically all goes the same. That was that bad. And Ash gets the Earth Badge as he and Brock hit on the Palatine train. As he meets up with Gary. As they decide to have a battle. As Ash uses Rhyhorn against Gary's Arcanine. As Rhyhorn evolves into Rhydon to win. As Gary sends a Nidoking, and it takes Rhydon with a double kick. And then Ash sends out Fearow as Nidoking uses Seismic Toss, taking out Fearow. And as Nidoking's pretty exhausted, he takes Ash into Venusaur and wins, as Gary sends out Blastoise. But even if Venusaur has type advantage, he still loses, as Ash wonders, I wonder how things would have went if I got Squirtle. As Ash and Brock, after a long time of training, finally make the Pokemon League. As Ash finds out his first match against Mandy, he got on the water field. As he picks Krabby, Horsey, and Fearow. And he said that Horsey is Mandy's an Executor. As Horsey actually manages to win with an Ice Beam, Ailer, through training. As Horsey starts to glow and evolves in a Seadra. But unfortunately, it gets taken out by Mandy's Seadra and a Mirror Metal. As it's no Krabby. As Krabby takes out Seadra. As Krabby evolves into Kingler. As Kingler finishes the battle off. As the match in the rock field goes the same, so I play Squirtle with Kingler. And then he fights Pete Pellman from Pure City. I know, real creative name. As Pete sends out Cloyster, as Ash sends out Primeape. And all I can say is about this, poor Cloyster. As Primeape just beats the ever-living crap out of Cloyster for the win. As Ash sends out Arcanine, as Ash in one of his dumb moments, he sends out Seadra. But luckily this works out for him, as Arcanine melts the ice, as Seadra can finally get in the water. And then Seadra fires a hard from Arcanine, taking it out, winning the battle. As Ash fights Jeanette, he uses Venusaur, Fearow, and Beedrill. As Ash sends out Beedrill, as Jeanette sends out her Beedrill. As the Beedrill shall have new movement learned, being Sludge Bomb. He dealt major damage, and then Beedrill takes out a Twin Needle. As in Jeanette sends out Scyther, as Ash calls that Beedrill give it a break. As he sends out Venusaur, as he takes the powerful Solar Beam Giga Drain to take out Scyther. As then Bellsprout comes out, and takes out both Venusaur and Beedrill, leaving it all up to Fearow. And luckily, Fearow pulls out the win, meaning Ash moves on to the top 16. And he meets opponent Richie, who has questionably good engineering skills. As Ash figures out that Richie has a Butterfree, Charmander, and Pikachu. So that Ash plans accordingly. And on to Team Rocket to worry about. Ash, that means his Pokemon are fully rested. As Ash has used Primeape, Kingler, and Venusaur. As the battle begins with Richie sending out Butterfree first. As Ash sends out Primeape. And it's not even a fair fight. As Primeape just straight up mauls Butterfree. As we send out Charmander. And Charmander immediately turns to Flamethrower. As in Charmander, Primeape uses his Rage to his full advantage as it mauls Charmander. Bringing Richie to the 1. As Richie uses Hot Sparky to Pikachu, as he finishes off Primeape, it's an action of Venusaur. As it finishes off Pikachu. Meaning Ash wins to the quarterfinals, as his opponent is someone who is very familiar to us who we watched the anime, being Misty. As she decided to take the gym challenge, and this about being full 6v6. As Ash decides to use Venusaur, Primeape, Scyther, Tauros, Charizard, and Seadra. As Misty sends out our first Pokemon, being Seeking. As they decide to make a water, land, field hybrid to give water types an advantage. As Ash sends out Tauros. As Seeking and Tauros go for a Horn Attack clash. As then Tauros goes for an Earthquake and knocks out Seeking. As Misty sends out Lapras. As Lapras goes for an Ice Beam, reaching Tauros in place, knocking it out. The Ash on his next Pokemon, Primeape. As Primeape just mauls Lapras. I can see why Ash releases Primeape. This thing's way too powerful. I picked in a Dugong. And that just goes the same. As we're gonna get mauled. But it takes Primeape down with it. Here in a double knockout. As the bell goes into halftime. As after that, Misty sends out Gyarados. As Ash sends out Seadra. And let's just say, this doesn't go too well for Seadra. As it goes down to a Dragon Rage. As Ash sends out Scyther. It falls as well. As Ash is down to 2 and Misty still has 3. So Ash sends out Venusaur. I'd like to take how we can Gyarados with Giga Drain. As now down to 2v2, Misty sends out Golduck. And Venusaur wins that battle as well with Super Type Solar Beam. Leaving Misty with Chest, Starmie. And Venusaur is still drained, so Starmie takes that with Psychic Attack. Leaving it to a 1-on-1. And Ash sends out Charizard. But, unfortunately, Charizard still doesn't obey Ash here. So, it loses to a Hydro Pump. It gets finished off an Ice Beam. And Ash is out of the league, leaving Misty to move on to the semifinals. Where she gets obliterated by a random trainer. Or the Raichu. As an Ash is seen nursing Charizard back to health. As it finally starts listening to him. As in everyone's a party for Ash to celebrate his place in the league. I mean, hey, he didn't win, but hey, he did better than Gary. As Professor Oak asks Ash to go to Orange Islands to pick up the GS ball from Professor Ivy. As that will end off this part, as next time we're going to Orange Islands and Johto. Hit the like button, subscribe for that. I'm out. Peace.